Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4 is finally here, and we actually get some really amazing connections to both Star Wars Legends and the other canon stories, including the books, novels, video games, and comics. So hit that subscribe button and let's break down all of the awesome lore from Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4. So the episode begins on a horribly burnt Obi-Wan Kenobi in the back of Tala's ship. Obviously what Vader did to him in the last episode has horrifically burnt him and given him the need for a bacta tank. In the tank we get direct parallels to Darth Vader's scenes in the bacta tank, and then we even get some cross-cutting scenes of them both in their own tanks. Interestingly, it actually looks like Darth Vader is enjoying the visions of what he did to Obi-Wan. Maybe he finally feels like he's gotten revenge for Kenobi leaving him there in that lava all of those years ago on Mustafar. But the location that Obi-Wan ends up in is actually incredibly interesting and has deep ties with Star Wars Legends. The location of Jabiim was the site of one of the bloodiest and most horrific battles in the Clone Wars. By the time only 3 weeks had passed in the battle, the Separatists had performed a devastating counterattack on the Republic which killed 2 Jedi Generals and pretty much all of the Padawans on the battlefield. Thousands of clones perished, and not even ARC troopers were enough to get the Republic out of this horrendous situation. To make things even worse, the planet's harsh weather conditions made traversing the terrain almost impossible, as well as geostorms knocking out almost all Republic communications. The fighting got so bad there that at one point Anakin actually believed that his master Obi-Wan had died, sending him into a violent spiral. Eventually, the Republic lost hope and the Senate ordered a full evacuation of all forces, with Anakin to lead them. During this time though, Anakin was so angry about his master and just the general failure of the battle that as he was evacuating his clones, he told the locals coldly, "This is your war now," before leaving. Horrible way to leave them, and they actually never forgot that moment, making Anakin a villain in their culture for the following years. Not to mention, there weren't enough ships to evacuate all of the loyalists who fought alongside the Republic on the planet, so Anakin had to make the very difficult decision of choosing who to evacuate. Anakin chose to evacuate his clones instead of the loyalists, leaving them even more furious than before. They were horrified that the Republic had turned their backs on them, but there was nothing anyone could do. As Anakin was leaving, the loyalists stormed the evacuation ships and Anakin did the unthinkable, subduing them by using force choke. He was literally remembered as the Satan of their planet after this whole incident. In the end, the Republic lost 27 Jedi and over 10,000 clones, marking it as the most bloody and devastating battle of the Clone Wars. Either way, we then cut back to a man who's running a big part of the operation on Jabiim named Roken. This is interesting because he's actually the son of Ice Cube, and it seems like he has a very interesting backstory. We'll likely get more on him in a comic run or a standalone novel, and he eventually agrees to help Obi-Wan locate Leia, and he tells him that she is likely located on the moon Nur in the Mustafar system. Back in Leia's cell, we see that the Inquisitors have decided to handcuff her. Now, I don't know about you, but the size of these handcuffs are eerily similar to the ones that Moff Gideon used on Grogu in The Mandalorian. Obviously, these are slightly bigger, but it shows you that the Empire have a long history of taking child prisoners. After this, Reva mentions that they intercepted a transmission on the planet Baunab. This is the planet we see in the Clone Wars episode Nomad Droids, where C-3PO and R2-D2 land there. And I don't blame you at all if you skip this one and you don't know what planet I'm talking about. Baunab was also seen in the Han Solo Age of Rebellion comic, where he took the Falcon to the spaceport there and quickly got into a bar fight. He then smuggled spice off-world. Once Tala and Kenobi arrive at Fortress Inquisitorius, home base of the Inquisitors from the Darth Vader 2017 comics and Jedi Fallen Order, they arrive in Prisoner Transport 538. This is coincidentally the same number as the Obi-Wan Kenobi Funko Pop. Cool little connection there, even if it wasn't fully intentional. Now, as we see Tala walk up to the entrance of the main part of the base, she is asked for identification. What she hands over is actually a code cylinder, and we see pretty much every Imperial officer with these in their front pocket. The only actual time we see them in use though is in Star Wars Rebels, where Agent Kallus uses them to sneak into an office. After Tala sneaks into the main base, we see Obi-Wan swimming nearby using a respirator. This is actually the same way we see Cal Kestis swim towards Fortress Inquisitorius in Jedi Fallen Order. Great little nod there, and the episode pretty much looked like a live-action gameplay of Jedi Fallen Order. He even honestly slightly looks like Cameron Monaghan, Cal's actor, in one shot underwater, which makes this connection even better. Young Leia does her best to resist the third sister's mind probe ability, the same one Kylo Ren uses in The Force Awakens, and she actually succeeds. We already know Leia was Force sensitive, so this is a nice little show of her strength. Leia then pulls a classic trick on Reva, and this time she's had enough. She sends Leia to the torture chamber deeper in the facility, possibly the same torture chair that was used on Sia Junda when she gave up Trilla and the other younglings. Now back with Obi-Wan, he walks into the horrid and creepy chamber of Jedi bodies, each killed during Order 66. On the inside, I think I can spot probably someone the same species as Quinlan Vos, Maybe Coleman Cadge, although he was confirmed to have survived by both the Grand Inquisitor and Darth Vader in the Darth Vader 2017 comics, so I don't think it's him. Then we sadly have Tera Sinube, the Jedi Elder from the Clone Wars TV series. Tera Sinube was a very wise and thoughtful Jedi Master who had a very rare type of lightsaber called the Saber Cane. As you can imagine, this allowed him to conceal his saber inside of his cane, making it look like he was just a frail old man. Never judge a book by its cover. He also went on a mission with Ahsoka when she lost her own lightsaber, and Sinube was able to use his rare light blue blade. Horrible to see such a great Jedi Master put in such a wretched place. Now, I just have to point out one more possible Jedi in the tank, even though this is 90% likely not to be him. As Kenobi is walking, there does appear to be one that does kind of look like Mace Windu. Now, I know we all want him to be alive, but maybe he did survive for a few years and then was later captured and put into this place. This Mace-looking body does appear to have his right hand on, which of course Mace doesn't have his right hand. Although if he did survive the initial fall and then was later captured, he might have put on a prosthetic before that. So who really knows? If it is Mace, well, there it is, he didn't make it. Moving on, while Leia is about to get tortured, Kenobi needs a distraction to reach her on time, and as a result, Tala goes to Reva and tells her that the path safe houses lead to Florham, obviously lying. Florham is actually a location that featured heavily in the Clone Wars series and was the home base of Hondo Ohnaka, the infamous pirate and good friend of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hondo is of course still alive by the time of the sequels, as he features at Bar 2 inside of Galaxy's Edge. Not to mention he also named his ship the Katuni after one of the Jedi younglings who travelled there during the Clone Wars, so maybe we'll see more of him during upcoming shows like Andor or Ahsoka. Now, as Obi-Wan and Leia begin to make their escape, Reva marches with an entourage of stormtroopers, including one in black. This is a purge trooper, and it's likely that there's actually a clone trooper inside of that armor, since most of the purge troopers were actually clones. They also featured heavily in Jedi Fallen Order, so it's nice to see that they're still here. As Obi-Wan and Tala are getting out of the base with Leia, I just have to point out that we can see an Imperial gunner with the iconic helmet walking past. Literally no reason that he'd need to be in that base since there are no weapons, but it's cool to see anyway. After this, Obi-Wan, Leia and Tala escape onto a rebellion fighter, and Vader comes in angrier than the 10 moons of Mustafar. He's absolutely furious with Reva, but she bluffs and tells him that she let them go to put a tracker on their ship. Later on though, we see that it wasn't actually a bluff, and Lola has been turned into the tracker for Reva. Nice to see the absolute rage from Vader, looking even angrier than in Rogue One. Right after, one of the rebellion fighter pilots for some reason gets cocky and wants to keep firing at Reva before he leaves. This is a man named Wade, and he eventually gets killed because of his arrogance. Now, there's no way to really tell, but this could be Wade Vox, who was a Force-sensitive smuggler from the Star Wars Demolition game. Probably not the same guy, but that would be really cool if he was the same person. And leave a comment if you've actually played Star Wars Demolition, because that's a pretty deep cut even for the most hardcore of us. So that is my full breakdown of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4. What did you guys think of the episode, and what would you like to see next? Thanks so much for watching guys, really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it this far, make sure you leave a comment down below and say thank Mr. Vader.